Hey, what's up, garden friends? It's Destry. I just was sitting here in my yard and I thought about making a quick video just to share a couple things. Sitting here in the shade, I just got off work and it's a busy time of year. I feel like flipping over the calendar to June in a couple days is gonna feel really good. I'm a teacher, so that means a lot to me. And of course I have two young children. So school being out, it's a big deal. It's like a time of transition, right? There's a lot going on. So I'm enjoying my yard right now. And there's a lot of things going on in the yard as well. So I wanted to show you a couple things today and just talk about how sometimes the yard or the garden will kind of tell you what it needs so that you can prioritize things. And I know that sounds really woo-woo, so let me try to explain. Okay guys, I moved over a little bit and I also grabbed my microphone because the last time I watched one of these videos where it was breezy like today and I didn't have my like fuzzy microphone, the audio was really bad. So anyway, I got my microphone, took my headphones off. I was actually just listening to a podcast in my greenhouse and just really enjoying being present in the garden. So I guess that's the first thing I wanted to just chit chat about is like, as a person who spends a lot of time in the yard and enjoys being out here to do gardening things, I think it's important to every once in a while really just sit down and like enjoy the space, right? Like take it in, be present in the moment, maybe not do anything, just sit and enjoy. And I think that's really hard for gardeners, right? That's what I like to call it, to do. It's definitely difficult for me to do sometimes when, you know, you always want to see the next thing. Sometimes you need to kind of just evaluate what you need to do next. And especially if you're busy in this busy time of year, you need, for me, I should say, I need to also like take stock and see what is the priority, because I might not have time to do everything, especially, you know, spring and summer are the busy times in the garden. So I can just sit and look at a section of my yard for a minute and actually take it in. And I know this sounds really woo-woo, but tell me if you've ever had this experience. I feel like the plants, in a way, or the landscape will kind of tell me what its needs are. I mean, I'm not saying I hear voices, okay? I'm not like that crazy, but I can see what needs to be done next. Maybe that's a better way of saying it. I can see what the next step is going to be, what the needs of the plants are, and, you know, do what I can or what I think is right to forward motion that space or that area and, you know, tend to the needs of my plants. And I enjoy that. I enjoy caregiving of my plants. So anyway, just a couple thoughts I was having today about like spending time enjoying your space, taking time to relax and enjoy, and then also like looking at maybe smaller parts of your garden or yard or landscape and just focusing in on, you know, what can I do now, what's the priority, and kind of like listening to the space. I hope that makes sense. I feel weird like telling you that, but I don't know. Tell me in the comments. What do you guys think? So anyway, thank you for listening to my spiel. I think what I'm going to do now is flip the camera around and I'm just going to kind of go through that process with you. So I'm going to look at a different space and kind of talk about like what might need to happen next. Maybe not have time to do that thing today, but at least kind of make a plan and an agenda. And there might be some spaces that like, you know, look fine and maybe they just need some water. Right now I do need to water, but maybe there's some areas where I can, you know, can anticipate some changes that need to happen or, you know, think about what my plan is. All right, so here's the first space. Look at my umbrella, you guys. So our umbrella broke. There was a wind gust and it landed up on our roof of our pergola. Well, not a pergola, but our patio. And I put it back up thinking it was fine. And then I went, wait a minute, what's going on? What's happening here? And unfortunately, which this is was a nice one from Costco. And it has a solar light. So that's why it has like wires there, but you can see the whole part in here is just broken. So the first thing my garden is telling me is to take this umbrella and throw it in the trailer to be taken to the dump, because I don't think there's any saving it or fixing it. Although I was enjoying the shade of it today, so I guess it's not all bad. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of go around the yard, kind of like clockwise, I guess, and kind of take a look at what I have going. Now, first of all, please don't judge because I have no mulch in. We are getting a full irrigation system put in, so I am waiting to do that because a lot of these areas are going to be dug up soon. So please excuse the mulch. I have been doing, keeping up on the weeds pretty well. Good thing I don't have any fertilizer in there. I don't leave any fertilizer down when I leave them down like that. You getting a drink, Max? Anyway, so there is no bark, but there's a lot of things blooming all this area. And you know, I'm grateful for things like putting in these 3 here that are the same color. Actually, there's 4 of the dianthus. So that's why it is nice to buy, like when you buy something, put in multiples of them. So I've got this one coming up. It's a oh, I want to call it a coneflower, but I know that's not quite right. Anyway, look at this one. And what's unfortunate is I got this in Bend last year on a trip, and I will link that video down below. We went on a trip to a really cool nursery right outside of Bend, Oregon. But I also got this one the same year, and I think either the dog maybe peed on it or it came up out of the soil too much. But unfortunately, it did not, you know, it's not doing that well. Look at the, not compared to the other one. So what I want to do though is take some pictures of this one. So if I see a similar one at the nursery this year, I can pick up the same kind. Now, I don't know if I'm going to, but anyway, that's my plan. Okay, so what does this area need? Well, it needs mulch, and I can't take care of that yet. It needs water. I see a dead-headed flower that needs to happen right here. So I need to grab my clippers. I can take care of that. I do have a sweet pea bloom, finally. I'll come around to the other side and show it to you. So that's exciting. And I did put in some seedlings here, and they're getting a little bit beat up by the dogs. Oh, I'm also seeing that I need to sprinkle some slug killer there, or it might be earwigs. Anyway, let me show you this one bloom. Everyone said sweet peas smell really good, and so far I haven't experienced that with this one, but it is gorgeous. And I've got more buds. I have been training it up the trellis, or at least trying to. So I need to deadhead. I did train that up the other day, so I took care of that. So I think the rest of this bed just needs water, and then the other thing I need is more stones. So I need more stones for this area. So one of the things I could do is just measure this really quickly and approximate how many more I need to get so that I can get those the next time I'm out. Okay. Did you guys see that? I like turned off the camera really quick and it crashed. Oh my gosh. Okay, this has got to go. Interesting. Okay, so here we go. Back to our looking at our flower beds. Oh my gosh, that was wild. Oh man, this wind this spring. Have you guys had wind in your areas? So moving on to this area, I know that I need to fill up the fountain. That's something that we do every day. And so it's looking really good though. I'm really happy to have that sound in our garden. It's really nice. This area is turning out interesting. I've got these bulbs that are coming up here. These are like, they were supposed to be alliums. So I don't know, I didn't expect them to be that tall though. So I'm kind of debating and thinking about if I'm gonna keep those in this bed or, you know, when they're done with this bloom, if I'm going to move them. I'm definitely gonna move the ones that are like in between my 2 hydrangeas here. I'm also noticing that this hydrangea is putting on growth underneath this area where this one is not. So just kind of an interesting difference there on those. Let me go around and see what else we can find. Okay, another priority thing is to get these potted up. I got these the other day at the nursery with my girlfriend, Nicole. I've got 2 silver falls, which I've been able to overwinter, and they do really good. And then I got 2 more of these ones from Confetti brand. We have them here at our local like Kroger, but they've done really well for me. And so I got 2 more of those. And then I also got this little crawler. Look how pretty that is. This one is a bacopa, a blue bacopa. So I thought that one was really sweet too. I got 2 of those. So I need to get these potted up. I'm not sure where they're gonna go yet. Here's another one of the same mix that I've had in a pot for a couple weeks. And you can see it's doing really well. I do need to come in here and maybe deadhead a little bit, but it's blooming its head off. It's doing really good. I think this plant is happy as a clam. My gosh, it's just looking really good. Let's move over to these beds. One thing I'd like to do, and I think, I don't know, tell me what you think in the comments, but I think I'm going to do a second seeding. I don't have seedlings, but I'm going to do a direct sowing of another set of zinnias so that I have a kind of consecutive bloom, and I might get more, you know, later in the fall. But these bluebells are getting ready to bloom. So really what these flowers need from me today is just some water and probably some fertilizer. So I'm going to get out here and fertilize these today, as well as the stalk. And they are growing. They're putting on some buds, but they could probably use some fertilizer. One way that I can kind of tell is when the leaves at the bottom here start to look a little yellow, then they might be lacking some nutrients. And this soil is pretty rich, but you know, they might need some fertilizer. My amaranth is doing good. I could go in here and try to separate these at this point, which I might do. So this bed could use a little bit of work just with fertilizing both of these. So that's what I need to do in this area. All right, what are these plants telling me over here? This plant is telling me it's very, very happy. It's also telling me it's very vigorous and that it spreads like nobody's business. It's gorgeous. I love it. My pansies are almost done, so they are quickly it's gonna be too hot for them. So I could try to pull them and move them into just some pots and try to move them into the shade and sort of save them for fall plantings. So that's one thing you can do, save yourself a little bit of money. These will not last very well here though if I leave them in the hot sun. I am going to go ahead and let this ground cover just sort of take over this bed, and then I might put some taller grasses or something in here, just as like again more of a late summer fall look. This area I did plant up just the other day. It had some it's had some shade-loving plants in it, so I went ahead and put in some strawberries in this one, and I thought that would be cute to have the strawberries hanging over the side. And this container is just something I thrifted. If you've seen some of my other videos, again, I'll put a couple in the comments, but I love to look at, you know, thrift stores and secondhand stores. And then these seedlings are doing all right. I think they're starting to grow. I could probably use a bigger liner, and B, they could probably use some fertilizer. So that's what they're telling me. This is my raspberry plant, and it is telling me that it is happy and loving life and putting on fruit. And the bees back here are telling me that they are pollinating everything in my yard. So I have been very happy with how the pollinators have been, you know, have been doing here to help pollinate our gardens. So it's really fun to have this year, and we're really enjoying it. Okay, so moving on this way, I'm so enjoying having those pollinators and our beehive. But anyway, the garden here, it's just getting full sun right now. It needs water. I've got all my beans coming up. So these are going to be my green beans for my summer crop. I've got most of my squash in. Pretty much these beds are pretty full. I've got some peppers here. My sweet peas are climbing. Sorry, I'm not trying to do a garden tour, so I'll try to go a little faster. Okay, what is this bed telling me? It needs water. I also have some garbage rolling around the yard, so I'm gonna pick that up right now. True life, true life. Okay, so yeah, the garden beds just need water, so that's true kind of with everything. So again, I'm looking for those things that are like priority, like something's not doing well, or you know, something desperately needs water or needs moved. This is an area that I'm thinking about moving something. So I have a fern tucked back in here, and it's actually doing really well, which is why I've hesitated to now. But it's got, you know, it doesn't have a lot of room. So these lilies are coming up, and I've got some freesia coming up and blooming. Let's see, where'd my little freesia go? Oh, it's right here. Isn't that pretty? Oh, it's so sweet. And these ones do smell like amazing. It smells so good. So I'm happy with those. Oh, I also have more over here. I didn't even see these, you guys. Oh my gosh, the yellow and purple. Oh, those are gonna be gorgeous. Okay, so anyway, back to what my garden needs. Okay, one more. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with those. Anyway, I might need to move that fern. I digress. Well, I think that my topiaries officially need trimming. They're looking very woolly. I've been kind of letting them grow because I wanted them to put on some size. So they are really pretty, but this one needs repotted and it needs a trim with my new trimmers. And I could probably say that about my row of boxwoods over here as well. These are little boxwood topiaries I put in last year. And again, they've put on a lot of growth, but I might go in there and shear them down and, you know, shape them a little bit better. All right, I'm just walking through the garden now, trying to see if anything else comes up for me. This trellis has come up a few times. I just need to get some black spray paint so that I can give that a fresh coat of paint. So again, after I sit down, after doing this in my yard today, I will, you know, make a quick note of that to pick it up or order it off Amazon, which is my favorite for things that I'll never remember later, but I remember right now. Oh gosh, everything over here is looking so good, you guys. Look at these. So I only put these in a couple weeks ago. These are the Superbena Cherry Burst, is this one, and the Superbena Sparkling Rose, and very happy with how they're doing. Again, please overlook the fact that I have no mulch. That will be coming. These are daffodils, and I'm kind of surprised they're not more yellow yet, but I'll give them a little while longer. And the other thing is this lupin is done, although I've noticed it's putting on these seed pods. So I'm gonna leave this here and see what develops. I've got a pollinator over here hanging out with me. I don't know if you guys can see him. He's happy. All right, so some peonies over here. They're looking great. Everything just needs water. Let's see. Okay, so in this spot, I do feel like I need to make a decision, and it might involve going plant shopping, so that's exciting. This garden bed's telling me it has a lot of open space right through here, and that it could probably have another friend. So I'm thinking about that. It's been on my mind. I do have some dahlias coming back and a few that haven't come back. So I guess it really just depends on the varietal in my area. I'm not seeing anything desperately needed. I do notice that this netting has creeped up and my seedlings are almost getting to the point where they could use the support. Like this one's getting pretty tall. So I might just, again, just really quickly kind of tack this down and make sure that that's looking like it's at the right level for my cut flower garden area. I do have a poppy that opened. I've never grown poppies before, but they are just, I think they're more beautiful like before they open. Look at that. Isn't that cool? These peas are an area that are telling me desperately that they need something done and they need it done quick. You can see they're all leaning this way. Now they're leaning towards the sun, so that's not a bad thing. That's how they're growing. That's how they're happy. But I have had an experience last year where they did get too tall and too wide and they broke, and then you lose your crop. So what I'm going to do today is get some twine and just gently kind of support those around in width as well as I'm supporting them in height, if that makes sense. So this is the other patch here. Now this one doesn't get as much sun, so you can see the difference in growth. It's also a different type of pea, but the beautiful blooms, I mean, look at these blooms, you guys. Aren't they funny? To me, they look like little faces. Do they look like little faces? I always loved that scene in Alice in Wonderland where all the flowers like talk to her because, you know, I could see it. I just put in these zinnias here just a couple days ago. And again, noticing there's some more planting space, so I might add some more seeds to that area. So that's what that little bed is telling me. Same issue with this one. I might just go ahead and push down the trailing, although this one, or the trellising, I'm sorry, support, but this one seems to be doing okay. Now, what I might need to do, and I kind of did it with this one, is sort of like guide these in to what I've got going on here if I can, so that, you know, they can be supported. But yeah, some of these are starting to get tall, so that's really exciting. All right, this garden bed, what are the plants telling me over here? The alliums are telling me to stop and appreciate them because some of them are starting to lose their color, which means they're getting ready to be done for the season. So they are telling me, hey, before I lose my color, take some pictures of me, enjoy me. Now they're still beautiful when they lose their color. They kind of develop these little seed pods at the tops, or at least mine do here. But definitely going to take a moment and just really appreciate them today. I've always loved these two. They're twinning. The pollinators will be so sad when they are done blooming. Can you see that guy? Oh man, where'd he go? You have to be really still when you try to get near him. He's having a snack. I think the pollinators are also really enjoying this catmint. It is really blooming. It's looking really good. Over here we've got more of that catnip blooming. Let's see, one thing about this garden bed, I did put some of these were the ones I moved from that white container I showed you earlier, the primroses, that's what they're called. I did put in some scabiosa, it's looking good, but these ones back here, these are yarrow, and I don't think they're getting enough sun. See how the foliage is all flopped? So one of the things this garden bed is telling me is, hey, I think we need to find a new home for me before I don't perform for you the way that you want me to. So I'm going to listen to those plants back here. And at some point, I'm going to get in here with my trowel and just try to quickly transplant them. This one has a couple bit of foliage that's upright, but not a lot. So I think they need more sun. Anyway, that's what this garden bed's telling me. Garlic is over here, and this garden bed is telling me, hey, we're almost done. We're getting there. So you can see how the tips are starting to turn yellow, which means that the whole plant pretty soon will be turning brown, kind of a yellow to orange to brown. And then the stalks will actually die off, and of this variety, I should say. And then, the garlic will be ready to harvest. The scapes over here, I just did a video about these. They are telling me, look at the curl on that guy. These are telling me that they are done. I need to harvest them, and that way the garlic will not put energy into the actual garlic bulb. They'll be putting, backwards that. I don't want them putting energy into the flower. I want them in the seed pocket. I want them to be putting energy into the bulb. So anyway, I need to harvest the tops of the ones that do have the scapes. Now some of these have like a really thick straight stem, and I'm realizing these ones are actually a different varietal. So I don't know, I have to do a little bit more research. I'm not sure if I should go ahead and cut this off down here, or and kind of take this part off, or if these also are going to kind of twist around like the other ones. So we're going to wait and see on that. Here's a good bed with kind of this example. Here's two pumpkins that, so you can get in here. They germinated and they're growing really well, but they're very close together. So what this garden bed is telling me is I need to take one of these out and I need to move it over here where I had one that did not take. Now that will be kind of disrupting my varieties in here, but to be honest, like they all are gonna grow and it's fine. I mean, I have room here, so I don't really care that much that, if one variety is mixed in with another when it comes to pumpkins. Again, I could work on maybe some spacing here and move things around a little bit. I also need to water this bed, but I'll be doing that later tonight. My potatoes are telling me that they are loving life, that they need more water, and these are actually onions. And so here's kind of the same thing with these. These are a little different, and it's called bolting. Now it's not necessarily a bad thing, it just means it's gotten hot and the onions are coming again to the end of their life cycle. So what I probably should do is get in here and cut these off, and again, let that foliage put more energy towards the actual onion bulbs. So I'm excited that I was able to grab some onions out of this bed as well as all the potatoes. planter is telling me that I am definitely going to be cutting these allium when they are done and drying them and using them in future decor. They're so gorgeous. So that's what these alliums are telling me. Right, Max? Another thing I just wanted to share with you guys today are these really cool cushions that I got for my Adirondack chairs. So these Adirondack chairs are smaller, they fold up, which is really nice, but every time I sat in them, I just felt like, you know, you need a cushion. So I found these on Amazon. What's cool is they come in a bunch of colors, and they have this little elastic strap in the back that kind of holds them in place. And then of course they also have the little ties, which I haven't tied on that one, or this one. And then these pillow covers, these just covered some old yucky crappy pillows that I had. I just, again, got them on Amazon. So I will link these down below for you if you like this look. It's been really nice to sit out here. This area is telling me it would be nice to have maybe just a little table or something there to set a drink on, or my phone or something like that. But I also realized that these have to be moved when we mow the grass. So I don't want to put too much furniture out here. These Adirondack chairs last year, sometimes I had them up here by the greenhouse, but of course I've got my green stock now, so that's taking up some room. My plants in the greenhouse are telling me they need a little bit of water. This aloe right here has been talking to me for a while. I hate to disrupt everything because it looks so happy, but this aloe has a lot of babies, a lot of offspring that probably need to be pulled out of there and rerooted. I also have some containers like this where I have, you know, multiple of the aloe in there, which again, I could try to separate these and freshen up the soil, and these aloe would be much happier. So this aloe for a while has been saying, hey, I had some babies, now get them out of the house. Here's a project that hopefully will be telling you something too. I did sow 4 different kinds of sunflower seeds. These are all from the Pro Cut series, and last year I did not have luck planting them in the ground, so I'm trying to germinate them here in my greenhouse and have some cut sunflowers. So these ones are a little different in the fact that they only, you know, make one flower. They're not a multi-branching. So hopefully that project will turn out well. All right, so the green stalk is telling me, hey, stop and check me out. I have some nasturtiums blooming. It also is telling me I've got some lavender to come. And yeah, I don't know, what else is it telling me? There's a couple more blooms, I think, around, so let me try to find those. This one's more of like a dark red than the orange, and then there's somewhere over here, there's a yellow one. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, it's right in front of me, literally right in front of me. Look how sweet. So the nasturtiums are telling me, hey, stop and take note. Definitely could get out here and harvest a few more things out of the green stalk as well. All right, I'm gonna come sit down. I have talked to my garden, I have went around, I have made a mental list of some things I need to do, and now before I forget all those things, I need to actually get out and do some stuff. But today I thought I would just take you around to kind of my process of, you know, being out in the garden for a day. Now I might not get to all those things today, and that is fine too, because part of my plan for today was to sit back and enjoy and be on my new cushions and hang out in my beautiful garden space. So I hope you liked the video. If you talk to your plants too, will you leave me a comment? And if you need me, I'll be hanging out in my Oregon yard. See you later. Bye.